The unseen treasure, the value of time. In a bustling marketplace filled with noise and chaos, where vendors shouted to attract buyers and people hurried about their daily chores, an old man named Samuel sat quietly under the shade of a large tree. Unlike the others, Samuel didn't rush. He observed the world with a calm demeanor, his eyes reflecting a depth of understanding that intrigued many. One afternoon, a young man named Alex came running through the crowd. His clothes were slightly disheveled, and his face was etched with exhaustion. He spotted Samuel sitting peacefully and rushed over to him, panting heavily. "Samuel!" Alex cried, his voice desperate. "I don't know what to do anymore. Every day feels like it slips away faster than I can keep up. I'm trying to make my life better, but there's never enough time." Samuel smiled gently, a knowing glint in his eyes, and gestured for Alex to sit beside him. "Catch your breath, my boy," he said softly. "Now, tell me, what troubles you so much?" Alex sat down, his shoulders slumping as he sighed deeply. "No matter how hard I try," he began, his tone heavy with frustration, "there's always more to do and never enough hours to do it. It feels like I'm chasing something I can't catch, and it's wearing me out." Samuel nodded thoughtfully, his gaze fixed on the lively marketplace. He let the silence linger for a moment before speaking. "Let me tell you a story," he said, his voice calm but intriguing. Alex looked at him curiously, his frustration momentarily forgotten. "Long ago," Samuel began, leaning slightly forward, "there was a king who owned everything one could dream of. He ruled vast lands, possessed endless treasures, and commanded mighty armies. But there was one thing he could never have more of: time. One day, feeling troubled by how quickly the days seemed to pass, he summoned his wisest ministers and asked, 'Can anyone tell me how to gain more time?' The ministers, despite their intelligence, were at a loss for words. Then an old sage arrived at the palace. The king posed the same question to him. 'Wise sage, I have all the riches in the world, but I seek more time. How can I achieve it?' The sage smiled and replied, 'Your Majesty, I have a solution, but first you must give me what you value most.' Eager for an answer, the king removed his crown and handed it to the sage, saying, 'Take it. It is my most prized possession. Now tell me your solution.' The sage took the crown, placed it on the ground, and without another word, began to walk away. Shocked and confused, the king called after him, 'Wait, what are you doing? You've taken my crown but given me nothing in return.' The sage turned back, his voice steady yet profound, and said, 'Your Majesty, time cannot be bought with riches or power. It is the most precious gift, and every moment you waste can never be reclaimed. The answer lies not in gaining more time, but in using the time you have wisely.' Samuel paused, letting the story sink in. Alex sat in silence, the weight of the tale pressing on him like a heavy realization. "So, you're saying that time is the real treasure?" Alex said after a moment, his voice quiet but filled with newfound understanding. "And it's up to me to use it well?" Samuel nodded firmly. "Exactly. You cannot control time, Alex, but you can control how you spend it. Each moment is an opportunity to build something meaningful, something that lasts far beyond the fleeting nature of life. Don't rush through your days, chasing after things that don't matter. Instead, cherish the time you have and use it to create a life of purpose." Alex stood up, his shoulders no longer heavy with frustration. As he looked around the bustling marketplace, it seemed different to him now. Not overwhelming, but alive with possibilities. From that day on, Alex stopped chasing time and began living in harmony with it. He realized that the true treasures in life were not material possessions, but the moments he created, the relationships he nurtured, and the wisdom he gained by valuing his time. Time, once gone, could never be brought back. But Alex learned that every moment held the power to transform his life if he chose to use it wisely. And so, in the heart of that busy marketplace, a young man discovered the unseen treasure that had been with him all along: the priceless value of time.